This vote,
growing concerns prompting almost unanimous passage of a bill funding the response.
The American people, I believe, expect us here in the U.S. Senate to set aside politics and set into motion a swift and a sweeping response to this danger. And in situations like this, I believe no expense should be spared to protect the American people.
Just a week ago, Democrats said the White House was underestimating the amount of money needed to respond to the crisis. Republicans, recognizing the good the bill will do, said negotiations should not have been delayed. The bipartisan deal also includes about $3 billion for the development of a vaccine.
Speed up the development of vaccines, increase access to testing, treatments, and will expand access to telemedicine to make it easier to see their doctors remotely. This is very good news, but is also a reprieve that was unnecessarily delayed. Since it became clear that coronavirus was becoming more serious, I had urged our colleagues to leave politics out of the national discussion.
But the president still received harsh criticism from Democrats.
We saw misinformation on national television, downplaying of potential risk to the American people by the president. I was concerned that he worried more about a market impact than human lives.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi did acknowledge U.S. health officials had also been slow to respond.
We weren't ready in terms of the advisories that were being put forth by the CDC, saying you only test somebody if they just had a trip to China or if they're old and have diabetes or something like that. Well, that was not the appropriate guidance.
Homeland Security officials told lawmakers the ultimate goal is to contain the virus.
This has never been, from day one, intended to be a hermetically sealed process. We are trying to reduce and delay the biggest peak in the virus wave hit on the United States of America. And all of these steps reduce and delay, they do not stop the virus.
Lawmakers, like California's Katie Porter, are now receiving their own regular briefings on the coronavirus.
Is that the risk of transmission generally across the country remains low. It's higher, obviously, in certain places in the country. California is one of those places, along with Washington state, but the continued risk remains low.
The Trump administration's Health and Human Services Secretary joined in on reassuring a nervous public.
We're being radically transparent with what we know when we know it, as well as the uncertainties that we face. We acknowledged that this is a time of angst and concern and uncertainty for many people.
President Trump is expected to sign the $8.3 billion funding bill into law by the end of the week. Katherine Gypson, VOA News, Capitol Hill.